Hey guys, welcome to my IGTV post for the week. This week I wanted to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, and that is knowing your self-worth. When you know your self-worth, you can walk into any room knowing who you are and not feeling less than or feel that you're being held up to a standard that you can't live up to. And even if they're holding you up to that standard, you know that you have not only met that standard, you've exceeded that standard. You know, one of the reasons why I always encourage people to know their self-worth, I've always talked to people who are going into a room to negotiate a salary, and they know the expectation, they know what they're looking for, but they almost feel a little embarrassed. And it happens primarily with females. I know it does happen to some male, you know, just sitting down at the table and saying, you know, I'm expecting $90,000, I'm expecting $100,000, I'm expecting $150,000. They feel, well, what if they don't hire me because they think I'm asking for too much? But if your education and your experience and your skill set matches $150,000, then that is what you should ask for, because some companies, not all, if you ask for a lower amount, they're going to give you a lower amount. So why don't you ask for above what you're looking for, and then they'll send somewhere, and that's where you wanted to be in the first place. So when you walk into a room, know your worth. Don't feel embarrassed. Don't feel ashamed about asking for something, thinking it's too high, because you're doing it based on your skill sets, your experience, and your education. And that is well within the range that they can afford. Now, if they can't afford that, they will let you know. But most companies, when they are hiring, they know the salary range, and there's exceptions. They could certainly go above the salary range. By the same token, not only when you're negotiating for a job, when you're negotiating your salary, I do encourage you to know your self-worth, because if you don't know your self-worth, others will try to tell you your self-worth. I remember years ago someone saying to me, oh, I'm going to tell you who you are. And I said, no, that's okay. I know who I am. You don't have to tell me, but thank you for offering to do that. Because what they were trying to do was tell me something that they think I am. In essence, they're trying to make me ashamed of something. And I know that I'm consistently growing, and I'm not the same person that I was even yesterday. So somebody's perception of me is not who I am. And if I know I'm consistently doing the right things, and then somebody's gonna come to me and try to tell me my self-worth, I'm just not gonna allow them to do that. So I do wanna encourage you also, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your family member, don't let anyone define your self-worth. Now, if you do struggle with self-esteem and you think less of yourself, and somebody's encouraging you and empowering you to think higher of yourself, I think that is great. But if somebody's definition of your self-worth is trying to make you feel bad or trying to make you feel less than, then you do need to walk away from that situation. Now, if you're in a new relationship and the person doesn't recognize your self-worth, I will encourage you to walk away or establish it before you go any further, before you get too deep into your feelings, before you get hurt. So I know my self-worth. I hope you know your self-worth. And don't base your self-worth on your education, your physical appearance, or your professional field. Your self-worth is your self-worth. If I didn't have the education that I have, if I didn't have my physical appearance, if I didn't have the career that I have, I do believe I would be the same person. That's what I want to encourage you. Your self-worth is not based on any material things. And don't look at somebody else's life and think, I'll never be as good as that person, because you're not them. You're you. So I just want to encourage you this week, know your self-worth. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid to tell others what your self-worth is. And don't be afraid to hold them accountable to recognizing that and walking away if they don't recognize that. Because anyone that means you well will not put you down, will not degrade you, will not demean you, will not speak down to you. They will empower you, they will encourage you, and I want to do the same for you. And as you know your own self-worth, as you define your own self-worth, I pray that you can do the same for someone else. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week.